Welcome. It's so wonderful to be with you all on such a special day. Over a decade in the making, the moment has finally arrived. We are proud and honored to introduce the Museum of the Jewish People. A new museum deserves a new name. The Hebrew word anu means we, us, and it embodies everything the new museum stands for, a place where everyone feels they belong. So before we take a tour of the museum itself, here, for the first time, is our brand new name and logo. Anu, Museum of the Jewish People. Yes, we picked quite a year to launch, didn't we? But we're not inaugurating a museum for a month, a season, or even a year. No, we are opening a museum for a generation. The purpose and relevance of the museum is today more apparent than ever. At a time of growing challenges, it has never been more important to underscore all the things that bind us together as a people. Our shared history, culture, and values. The strengthening of this sense of belonging is the foundational role of this institution. It is our single mission. Over the next 40 minutes or so, we will take you on a whirlwind tour of the new museum. Of course, nothing can replace an actual visit, which for most of you is a bit of a challenge right now. But you will get the next best thing. You'll get a taste of all the wonders the museum has to offer, the countless stories it tells, and the various approaches we chose in telling them.
Boomy, answer the phone!
I'm not going to New Jersey without my glove.
You'll witness the museum's rebirth, begun 16 years ago and led by the Nevzlin family. You'll meet a surprising guide.
You need to type in your last name here.
Then even listen to some music. Your tour of the largest and most comprehensive Jewish museum in the world begins now.
Our vision is to tell the story of the success and unity of the Jewish people.
Wow, what a challenge! A challenge that required me to completely immerse myself in the Jewish story for a decade.
Finishing such a project on time and on budget is a great achievement for me, and the result is like a dream come true.
For an organization to transform itself successfully and be relevant and modern, you need a combination of things: vision, people who believe in that vision, and the ability to execute. Our partners are the shareholders of the museum, the State of Israel, Tel Aviv University, Jewish Agency for Israel, and World Zionist Organization, and private foundations from all over the world. They helped us raise $100 million for the construction of this brand new museum.
Over the course of 10 years, I had the honor of developing and conducting one of the most diverse orchestras in the world. I won't say that there weren't stressful moments, but I always felt that something was present in the project, watching over it maybe. Is it said that God helps those who help themselves? Either way, we did our part.
Throughout my career, I have had the privilege of curating many museums, at Palmach, Begin, Herzl, and while all of them have a special place in my heart, this project is unlike anything I have done in the past. I am mainly referring to the intellectual and emotional scope of this project, to tell the amazing story of the Jewish people in its entirety.
This has been an important museum for me personally because of my own exploration of identity. And it makes this, for me, one of the most significant museums we've ever created.
One of the principles behind the museum's many interactive exhibits is how can the most advanced technology be used to tell the story without becoming the story itself. Working with the interactive team has at times felt like being a kid in a candy shop, while also feeling like meticulous Sisyphean labor.
This will become a landmark international destination and will set the standards for interpretation for museums of the next generation.
A deeply emotional experience for me, and a rich, comprehensive museum that I hope you all enjoy.
And the only one to tell the story of all Jews, our past, present, and future.
They can't wait for our work to be experienced by you, the visitors.
Olá, meu nome é Denise Veishoff e sou de Curitiba, Brasil.
Our journey begins in the present, with the spectacular mosaic that is the Jewish people today. At the entrance to the museum, you will meet Jewish individuals and families from all over the world, sharing the unique stories of their Jewish identity.
Hola, soy Simcha Duchov.
Hi, I'm Hannah from Northwest London.
We encounter the rich tapestry of Jewish denominations and ethnic backgrounds, meet people from all corners of the world in all walks of life, and see them realizing their Jewish identity in a myriad of different ways.
Can I get a volunteer to actually read the first two lines? Volunteer to read the first two lines. Antoine, thank you.
From New York to Mumbai,
a deep and loving gift from himself,
to an infantry unit in the IDF, from hipster to Haredi, everyone is represented within the extended family that is the Jewish people. A huge section of the museum is dedicated to Jewish culture in all its magnificent forms and facets, as well as the extraordinary individuals who have made such outstanding contributions to it. We look at television and film, including everything from Bollywood to Hollywood. Through dance and theater, literature and art. Not to mention music, which takes us from lullabies to rock, from classical to liturgical, from the Gershwin brothers to the Al-Kuwaiti brothers. And as long as we're talking brothers, the Marx brothers and other Jewish heroes of comedy are obviously represented too. As our chief curator, Dr. Orit Shacham-Gover, always says, we're not able to travel back in time, but the objects we choose to display in the museum were there in real time. The history they witnessed and the stories they tell comprise the narrative which is the history of the Jewish people. Here are some of these stories.
This is a small medallion that tells a huge story. It was created in Mashhad, Iran, at a time when the Jews were forced to convert to Islam and continued to practice their faith in hiding, as anusim. At the center of the medallion, we can see a picture of Fatima, daughter of Muhammad, the Muslim prophet. The Jewish women of Mashhad used to smuggle Torah scrolls and prayer books under their gowns to the houses where men were secretly praying. In order to ward off suspicion, they used to hang this medallion on their neck. For me, as a woman and a feminist, this medallion reflects the importance of women's roles throughout history and their contribution to the endurance of the Jewish people, though in many cases these actions were forgotten or overlooked.
This is my favorite piece in the museum. It's gorgeous. It's a showstopper. It is a special Sefer Torah from the Cochin community in southern India. The case is a typical case from North Africa, from Yemen, and the gold crown is a royal English crown with beautiful stones and beautiful gold. And on top is a little finial, and that finial shows us the influence of southern India. This is a love story. It's a love story between the Jew and his Torah. He creates all these ornaments because of his great love for the text that's inside the case. And that's what I love about it.
This display shows identification certificates issued for Jews at displaced persons camps after World War II. Having endured the horrors of the Holocaust, these certificates symbolize the return to humanity as individuals with names and identities. My grandmother, Tonka Hirsch, survived the war by joining the partisan in Yugoslavia. She gave me this photograph of her from 1945 for safekeeping, and it has been with me ever since. This collection of identification certificates joins to my grandparents, who also managed to survive.
This is the typewriter of Isaac Bashevis Singer, the Yiddish writer and the Nobel Prize winner. Isaac Bashevis Singer immigrated to the US in 1935, leaving behind him in Poland his wife and his only son. They eventually came to the kibbutz in Israel. In the 1970s, Isaac Bashevis Singer reconnected with his son and his new family and grandchildren. During his visit, he used this typewriter to write his amazing novels. In 2014, I made a movie that called The Muses of Isaac Bashevis Singer. During the filming, I found this typewriter in the attic of his granddaughter, and I told her I want that this typewriter will be in the new core exhibit at Beit HaTfutzot, and I'm so delighted and happy to see it here now.
While the first level of visitors' encounter is a vast open space showcasing Jewish identity and culture, the second level is a historical journey that begins with Abraham and leads up to the present day. On this voyage, visitors will be able to follow the historical track of the Jewish people, as well as trace their own personal roots. To make this experience even more personal, we've developed a special app, the first of its kind in any museum in the world. It creates an individual narrative for each and every visitor. And as you will soon see, like everything else Jewish, our app is very opinionated.
All right, honey, I'll just check where we're from real quick and we'll go. Okay, look, you need to type in our last name here and here.
Hello. Your family origins can be traced back to the Babylonian exile.
Babylonia? We're from Indiana, lady.
Your family name originates from the period of the Babylonian exile. Have you visited the display area yet?
Okay. He kind of looks like your Uncle Jerry, doesn't he? Okay, so tell me, what were we even doing there in Babylonia all those years?
I don't know. Maybe you wrote the Talmud.
Talmud?
Every day, thousands of Jews around the world study the same Talmud page.
Whoa.
2,711 pages for 7.5 years straight.
And to think that all this time, your grandmother didn't say a word about Babylonia. She just told me we're half Ashkenazi and half Sephardic.
Ashkenazi and Sephardic. Two faces of one people that originated right here around the corner.
Oh, hi, honey.
Hi, honey. How's it going over there?
Did you know that you are married to a Babylonian?
What? Listen, we're going to Rena's. Can you pick up something to eat?
Well,
Food has always been an integral part of Jewish culture throughout the diaspora. Take borscht, for example.
Borscht. so hungry. Do you think they serve borscht in the gift shop? Wait a minute. I know this place from our family albums. This is the Lower East Side.
The Lower East Side, the first stop for American Jews who immigrated to America through Ellis Island.
You see, we pretty much crossed the entire world on our way to Indiana. And in the end, we're right back here again. Yes?
What's going on? I've been waiting in the car for you for over an hour.
Okay, I'm sorry, we're coming. Where'd your mom get that temper? Hey, maybe she's Babylonian too.
Thank you for visiting the Museum of the Jewish People. Hope to see you soon.
Okay, we may have gotten a little carried away there, but the app is real, and we're super excited about its potential to enhance and personalize your visit. Our new museum has over 20 cutting-edge interactive display areas that help us illuminate the story of the Jewish people. Visitors are invited to cook with the best Jewish chefs, collaborate in creating an original work of art at the culture table, actively learn about the Talmud, or simply navigate the endless universe of prominent Jews and their contributions to humankind. The options are endless, and they're all at your fingertips. There's still so much of the museum to see. We'll meet some remarkable Jewish heroes and salute a very special musical guest. But first, let's hear from and about today's honorees, the Nevzlins. 16 years ago, a man who had recently made Aliyah entered Bet HaTfutzot. Originally from Russia, he had always found the time to be very active in Jewish community life, despite his demanding role as senior partner in Yukos, the largest oil company in Russia. As he stepped into the building, he found a museum in an existential and conceptual crisis. But he had a vision of what this place could and should be. His name is Leonid Nevzlin, and under his leadership, the museum has been reborn. With the support of then Prime Minister Ariel Sharon, the Bet HaTfutzot law was enacted, defining it as a center for Jewish communities in Israel and around the world. And in partnership with the State of Israel, the process of renewal began. A few years later, the Nevzlin family made their most precious resource available to the museum, Irina. As the museum's chair since 2011, Irina Nevzlin has successfully led the transformation of this institution. Under her active leadership, the vision became a work plan, the management team was recruited, and the necessary capital was raised. The dream has become the reality you see before you. Today, we express our appreciation and gratitude to the Nevzlin family, under whose leadership the museum has undergone a process of total rebirth.
Dear friends, when I came to Bet HaTfutzot for the first time in 2003, my hosts proudly demonstrated the computerized genealogical database. As a programmer in my first profession, I was duly impressed and decided to check out my family roots. Unfortunately, I found there nothing on Nevzlins. That was when I realized that I knew very little about my ancestors who lived in Belarus. I didn't even know the meaning of my family name, even though, as the president of the Russian Jewish Congress, I was very involved in Jewish philanthropy and building Jewish life in Russia. Ariel Sharon was prime minister then and was adamant that the Jewish people have a place that told their story. He suggested, and I gladly agreed to help to save the museum. I established the Nadav Foundation that same year. It became a partner of Bet HaTfutzot, and we began the process of rejuvenating the museum. In 2008, my daughter Irina joined forces with me.
My passion, which I also got from my family, is to make sure that everybody knows that living a meaningful and impactful life starts with learning where you come from and who you are. In short, your identity. The museum's mission is to help people discover who they are and strengthen their feeling of belonging. There is an incredible value in being part of something meaningful, bigger than ourselves. I'm very excited to be able to tell the unique story of the Jewish people through the museum. It's a fabulous way to connect to your roots and your heritage.
The museum team and the foundation worked very hard on new plans and projects for the museum, which was transforming from the Diaspora Museum to the Museum of the Jewish People. Finally, our people will have a place to celebrate our truly heroic story. Today, we have the biggest Jewish museum in the world, with new permanent expositions, fresh exhibits, and a new database, which, by the way, contains almost 300 names from the Nevzlin family tree. It is truly an exciting moment where we can look back and see how far we've come thanks to the efforts of so many special people. I can't name all of them, but I must mention our 4 philanthropic partners whose combined contributions matched our families. Alfred Moses and family, Dr. Anita Friedman and the Correct Foundations, Toby Philanthropies, and Milton and Tamar Maltz. Thank you all.
From the second I met both Irina and Leonid, I knew that I just adored them, and I knew how important they would both be in my life. Thank you for the years of friendship. Thank you for entrusting me to help you bring the museum to this point. And thank you for inviting me on this journey with you. It's beyond thrilling to see all of our work come together today. Much love and mazel tov to you both.
As president of American Friends of the Museum of the Jewish People, I've had the privilege of working closely with Irina and Leonid Nevzlin at a critical moment for the museum, a time of re-envisioning this world-class institution and its purpose in the world. I'm in awe of their courageous and motivational leadership, their unbounded enthusiasm, and passion for the Jewish people. Their accomplishments individually and as a team are most inspiring. Irina is a mentor to our generation as she fulfills the commandment, Kavod et avicha v'et imecha, which is the foundation of exceptional human behavior.
Hi, Irina and Leonid. We're sorry that we have to be with you virtually and can't be with you to celebrate live your great accomplishment, your great vision, and your great leadership that has brought us to this place. The museum is fabulous. It is a great vision of yours, and it tells the story of our people, our communities around the world, and the fact that we are one people, even though we are a very diverse people.
Today is a very special day. It's the day that we open the new Museum of the Jewish People. I'm an attorney practicing in California and in Israel. I love my work, but I think I love even more my work with Bet HaTfutzot. I've devoted many years to Bet HaTfutzot and its mission. Personally, I owe Bet HaTfutzot a forever debt for my identity and my commitment to Jewish heritage. 40 years went by since the museum opened, and a major renewal was needed and overdue. We hoped, and it did happen, with the incredible support of the Nevzlin family. We are so proud, therefore, to open today the renewed and most relevant Jewish museum in the world, and honor Leonid and Irina Nevzlin, who spearheaded and led the renewal of the museum. We are so grateful for your commitment to our people.
Kol hakavod, Leonid and Irina Nevzlin, the true founders of the new Museum of the Jewish People. In all 3,000 years of our history, there's been no example of father and daughter contributing so much for the benefit of so many, telling a story of our 3,000 years, glorious years of Jewish history. It is to them that we owe much what they have done for all of us.
Irina and Leonid, greetings from the San Francisco Bay Area. Tad, Toby, and I, and all of us at Toby Philanthropies, are thrilled to celebrate with you the unveiling of the Museum of the Jewish People. Your visionary leadership and your phenomenal generosity have made this long-awaited moment possible. Shehechianu and Mazel Tov.
My wife Diane, Shana, and I, Toby Philanthropies, and the Nevzlin family share a deep commitment to the vision which inspired us to join in supporting the Museum of the Jewish People. We are honored to participate in today's historic occasion, and we are eager to explore the museum in person to recognize the importance of the museum and the pivotal leadership role of Irina Nevzlin in making the museum dream a reality.
I love the theme of the museum. You are part of the story. You make us all feel a part of the story, and I want to thank you for that. There is no more perfect time to create a museum that brings us all together and tells the Jewish story worldwide than now. So I want to thank you for that. Thank you, my dear friend Irina. Thank you, Leonid. Thank all of you involved with the museum for leading the way. I and the Koret Foundation are grateful to you. We look forward to our partnership with you, and we wish you much, much success. God bless you, and thank you for all the good you are doing in the world.
Our history is full of countless men and women who have made unique and valuable contributions to the Jewish people and to humankind. Some are very familiar, the faces you'd expect to see at the Museum of the Jewish People. Others are less well known, and their display here in the museum is an opportunity to turn a spotlight their way. There are a variety of ways to tell the inspiring stories of these heroes, whose accomplishments took place in different eras, different locations. So we called on the finest illustrators and animators in Israel to contribute their unique styles, techniques, and artistic interpretations to the exhibition. Some heroes, like Moses for instance, are actually displayed in more than one version. And one carryover from the old museum that we all love, 11 exquisite dioramas depicting momentous scenes from Jewish history. The poetry of the Golden Age in Spain is projected on a 3D library, while the flip side of that era, the story of Anusim, crypto-Jews, is told using a technique called rotoscoping, animated tracing over motion picture. Let's take a look. Leonard Cohen was an artist closely connected to his Jewish identity, and he shared a very special relationship with Israel. He visited Israel consistently over the course of his life, and even felt compelled to come here during the Yom Kippur War and perform for soldiers on the front lines.
It is so wonderful to see you arrayed in these great numbers.
In his last performance in Israel in 2009, Mr. Cohen actually blessed the audience with Birkat Kohanim, the priestly blessing, which as a Kohen who took his Judaism seriously, he knew by heart.
So dear friends, Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Yoer Adonai pono v'elecha v'yikunecha. Yiso Adonai pono v'elecha v'yisem lecha shalom.
We are so very fortunate to have received as a gift to the museum the original guitar that he played that night at his final performance here in Israel. Before we seal the guitar inside its vitrine and put it on display for all to see and appreciate, we thought we'd venture to play just a few more chords on it here tonight. Here is Israeli indie folk artist Tamar Rada.
I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do ya? It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. The bafflo king composing hallelujah, hallelujah. I did my best, it wasn't much. I couldn't feel, so I tried to touch. I've told the truth, I didn't come to fool you. And even thought it all went wrong, I stand before the Lord of Song with nothing on my tongue but hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
So we've arrived at the end of our tour. And if there's one thing, one message about the museum that we'd like for you to take away with you, it's this: that a visit to the Museum of the Jewish People is a deep, multi-sensory, and completely immersive experience. No virtual tour can replace it, and we simply can't wait for you to experience it here with us in person. We hope today we've succeeded in giving you a taste of everything the museum has to offer. Everything that makes it the most wonderful museum of its kind in the world, and a must-visit site for every Jewish person and anyone interested in Jewish identity, history, and culture. Thank you for taking part in this historic event. We look forward to hosting you in person, hopefully sooner rather than later, at ANU, Museum of the Jewish People.